All right, and welcome back to episode 5 of What's Next in Cars from AutoNext. I'm back here with Rob.
Hello,
I'm
hello.
Beau, and let's dive into it because we've had a bit of a quiet week, but we still have some cool news, so let's dive into it.
Definitely, let's go for it.
This is the first one here?
Yeah, a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
It's the Porsche Carrera GTS, the Spirit 70s, which we knew was going to show up, but it took a little longer than we expected. Don't know why. Maybe Porsche was waiting for the right model, so they took the latest Carrera GTS.
Or maybe unexpected delivery delays from other models?
Also possible. But yeah, it's the third of four heritage design collector cars that they are presenting to us. So we've seen two Targas.
Correct,
First,
yeah.
a black one, and then a cherry red one.
Yep.
Both really cool. I like them. They're also holding value really well. So
Yeah.
which is good.
I really like the red one.
The cherry red one is
It's
incredible. With
stunning, yeah.
With the red and the beige interior, it looks stunning. You were also able to get them with the manual gearbox still.
Oh,
They're quite rare with a manual gearbox, of course, but it's a really cool feature.
it's just that apparently the Targa is not the best driving 911.
No, but that's fine because it's not the car you're gonna take out for a track. It's just the car you want to enjoy on a coastal seaside road. You're not driving
True.
the most out of it. So it's just a wonderful car to go to a restaurant with, or just to enjoy with your partner. So yeah, I was honestly very excited for this car, Spirit 70s. So yeah, a little wing to the 70s with the incredible interior. For the people who are watching it on listening on Spotify, I'm sorry you won't be able to see it, but it's like this typical Pasha interior.
I'll show you in a minute. I just wanted to highlight something I think is a little bit goofy maybe on the car.
Alright, yeah, go for it.
It's this. So just on the front of the bonnet, they have this really thick font, and it's like nearly it's like 90% of the width of the bonnet. It's like 911.
Yeah, it's a bit too much.
I'm not sure that was a thing in the 70s, but yeah. Other than that, it looks really cool, and indeed, like you said, we have these stunning Pasha.
Yeah, Pasha interior, which is like typical 70s. It's coming straight out of that wonderful 930 turbo, which is superbly cool. And you have two colors, so you have just the grayish tint, or then you have also this more yellowish tint. Depending on the exterior color, you can really mess up the configuration. So please don't do that to people buying this thing.
Oh yeah, you can get a lot of colors as well, interior and exterior.
Yeah, so it's also the first time on a Heritage Design Edition that you're able to get a paint to sample color, which is really cool.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
we might see, depending on the interior choice, some pretty cool specs.
I do like that because I'm not fully convinced about the color that they pushed out.
Well, there are I think 3 or 4 colors. A few are more cool than the other ones, but it's difficult to find a nice mesh between wheel color, exterior color, and interior wise. So it's
Yeah.
not very easy. But I've seen some configurations already because people are now
Yeah, they
putting them
can.
together,
Yeah.
and some really cool stuff is coming out. So it's really cool, really nice. But yeah, let's see. Probably deliveries end of this year already. Which is
Yeah,
really
and also with the launch of the Spirit 70, the Porsche also launched a Vision Pro app.
yeah, not sure how many people still use Apple Vision, but
I don't know, but to be honest, I saw this in the press release that they have this Apple Vision app now, and it came back to me. Last year I was in Le Mans, and
Okay.
you have you know the Porsche Center in Le Mans.
Yeah.
It's right until the last 2 chicanes. It's a very cool place
That's
to
like
watch
their
Le Mans.
entire driving center.
Yeah, it's their
experience.
entire experience center, and for the 24 hours of Le Mans, it's their VIP hospitality service, and you have this really cool balcony, and it overviews the track.
We've
and-
been there, so
Yeah, we've been there. But last year there was this guy, and he was standing in the corner with his Apple Vision Pro on.
no way.
I think maybe he was watching the race live, like
That's
on,
just
and you could see him.
silly, man.
I was
I
like,
get it.
man, this guy is loaded.
But it's really gimmicky, but just the development cost for such an app would be out of.
It's insane.
I don't get it, but yeah, it's a cool gimmick.
It's millions and millions and millions.
And billions and trillions and billions. But yeah, it's a lot of money. I don't get it.
No.
So yeah, if you want a Spirit 70s, just go to the dealership. Don't be
Right now, yeah,
silly.
because
But yeah,
they'll go fast.
yeah, and there only will be made 1,500, so more
Okay,
exclusive
yeah.
than an ST or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's a good collector's item. This 911, I like it.
True.
Very cool story about about Porsche. Happy about it. All right, next one.
So next up we have a joint venture from Geely and Renault.
All right.
One you might not see coming, but they announced it last year as well. But this is the first thing that they've come out with. It's called the joint venture is called Horse.
Okay.
I didn't do my homework too well because maybe I thought it was an abbreviation, but I haven't found it.
Okay.
But essentially, they're developing hybrid engines, and they're what this first one is it allows EVs to be converted back into hybrid electric vehicles.
So people buy an electric car, and then after a year or two, they're tired of
No,
it.
not really that, but manufacturers develop an EV platform.
And
Let's
you're still able
say
to get
Renault 5.
Okay.
EV sales are dropping, and they're trying to recoup their costs.
Mm-hmm.
So you could swap in a hybrid electric powertrain.
Okay. And what kind of engines? Everything or
No, for this one, it's a small 4-cylinder engine. I think it's probably 48-volt
1.6
technology, a
or-
little bit similar to what we drove in probably like the Lancia Ypsilon,
Okay.
which worked really well.
Which is good. Yeah,
yeah.
which is really good. So fine.
But it could open the door to more powerful engines as well.
True.
Because and the beauty of this engine is it can run on just petrol, E85, ethanol, pure methanol, synthetic fuels, everything basically, except
Okay.
for just any normal petrol and the alternatives.
Just no diesel.
No, please don't put diesel in it. You don't want to find out why. No, but it's really cool. I think it's a good way because we've seen that the market has been changing a little bit in demand. That the EVs, the sales are dropping really a lot.
Yeah, because all these manufacturers thought we were going to buy them, but at the end people aren't buying them. So there needs to be a solution because the cars they're bringing out, they look nice.
Yeah,
Like if you
yeah,
look
the
at
R5,
exactly.
the
R5 is really
500.
cool. The 500 is really funky.
Yeah, the A290.
Yeah.
Even the electric Mini.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it's
So
a good
if
looking
there's
car.
the potential to just opt for a petrol engine in it,
Yeah.
would be really good.
Yeah, and I think like Fiat is developing the same for the 500e because they've seen that the sales of the new
Not
500e are slowing down,
Mm.
and they currently only have the old 500 as a backup.
Yeah,
But
which is
they
very
cannot
outdated
keep
now, so.
dragging that car around.
Okay, nice. So Renault and Geely are doing it together, and Stellantis also opting for this.
True. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So let's see what the future brings, and maybe we could see some 2-liter 180 horsepower
Would be
engines
really
coming.
cool. Put that in a Renault 5.
Because I worked a little bit for Alpine last year for the A290.
Yeah.
And a lot of peop-
Really cool car.
Yeah, really cool car. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, can you get this in a petrol engine?" And I'm like, I'm not
Sorry.
sure. Now,
Yeah.
sorry. The electric one is still very cool. I really love it.
Mm.
And I don't know if you could get it with the hybrid engine, but just imagine 180 horsepower manual.
Yeah, but I think Porsche is also working on this with the. I think it's not official, but with the brand new Macan.
A manual
No,
or
no,
or a
no,
hybrid.
a hybrid.
Oh, okay.
That you're also possible to opt later on for a petrol engine.
And just going a little bit further into Porsche, are they going with the Boxster or not?
Well, it's quite there's not been much coming out for the 718 that should have been electric. What is it? Next 2026 launch, 2027.
I thought it was this year launch.
I
But
think
okay,
next year, I
maybe
think
not.
next year, but
Yeah.
it's been really quiet around the 718, and they're still producing. Or you still see Spider RSs or GT4
Yeah, because
RSs coming
you
in.
can still order a few, but
Yeah.
you can't order any of the old ones anymore,
Exactly.
or not in Europe. In other
Yeah, other
Uh,
parts of the world, just Europe that is
yeah,
being cut off.
Europe is regulations that screwed over Porsche, saying that the car is not cyber secure enough. Which is it's really that the car doesn't meet the latest cybersecurity regulations,
Really?
and they're not allowed to sell them anymore. It's only like the Spider RS and the GT4 RS because they're very limited cars.
Yeah, they're
But
yeah.
like the
exactly.
big
Production
volume, they're
limited.
not allowed to.
Weird. All right. Very weird.
So yeah, screw Europe again. Then cooler news next. It's AMG just teased
Really cool. Really cool stuff.
this image with basically no more info than that,
Nothing.
because if you go into the comments and try to dig for it, Mercedes is like, good guess. Wait and see.
Yeah, but and we haven't seen a date or something like that. It's just like stay
It's
tuned. Or whatever.
June,
June.
somewhere in June.
But no specific date.
No.
Yeah. So, when I look at the image, sorry for the for the Spotify listeners. So it's a very long silhouette. Very
It's like
low.
if you use the BMW term, it's a Grand Coupe.
Yeah, but I have more like Taycan-ish vibes because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
yeah,
very
yeah.
long roof line. Looks like
Four-seater coupe.
four-seater coupe, something like that. So maybe upgraded GT4 four-door coupe, which I don't know. It had the facelift 1 or 2
Yeah,
years ago.
my guess is either this is a competitor for a e-tron GT or Taycan.
So it would be electric, you think?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
My other guess is it's going to be the next generation of the AMG GT 4-door coupe.
Yeah, something like that. That's what I think. A fully e-performance based. Let's just hope they don't put a 4-cylinder in it. Please don't, Mercedes.
It's already too late.
But on the picture, I do like the design. Just
Yeah,
the
yeah,
roof
yeah.
line, It looks sharp. It looks sexy.
I'm the thing I'm also just hoping for is that whatever they tease is not a concept here.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Please don't. Yeah.
Because
But Mercedes doesn't do that too often. Just
to
their-
tease a concept, or
just their visions. And,
Yeah.
and the visions, they just launch them, or you can see
Mm.
immediately that it's a vision car.
yeah, but it's mostly in like the back end that leaves me a little bit in doubt if it's going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it even reminds me of the EQXX.
Yeah,
their
yeah, and
1000
that's why
kilometer-
I was thinking about maybe it's a Taycan competitor.
Exactly.
But yeah, I have to see.
And something that's a little bit more pretty than an EQS.
But what is worse than an EQS in the Mercedes range?
An EQE or
An EQS SUV. Maybach EQS.
I don't like the
Please don't shoot me.
You don't like the plastic wheel
Oh yeah. Plastic fantastic on your
on your wheels.
200,000 euro Maybach. Yes.
True. But no, we're not ranting today. But this is a cool product. I'm
Maybe
pretty
you're
sure-
not, but
No, honestly, this is gonna be a cool product. I'm gonna like it.
this looks very promising, and yeah.
Let's see. what-
For me personally, I'm fine if it has
Because
a
I-
4-cylinder.
But no, wait, hold on. I do think Mercedes had their moment where they really screwed things up with the C63,
Yeah.
and now I think they're learned their lesson.
Mhm.
And they're maybe, let's hope, listening to what customers want again,
Mhm.
and this might be the first step to it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we've
yeah.
already had that with the announcement of the new V8.
Mhm. Yeah, but what I wanted to say is I'm fine if it has a 4-cylinder as an option, like a
Mm.
GT43.
It's still lame.
Fine. Yeah, I don't like it, but
but, mm.
to each their own. Some people will like it and it
Yeah.
fits their budget, and they don't care about the engine, they just care about the looks. But it should have a V8 at least.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, like all the e-performance products.
True. Yep.
Badass V8 and just some hybrid tech
So
inside
Let's wait and see.
would be cool. All right.
Okay, next is another teaser. It's teaser week.
It's teaser. But another really cool one.
Porsche just dropped this.
German teaser week.
Yeah, German teaser week. Porsche just dropped this. It's a silhouette of a 963, which is their Le Mans LMDH hypercar.
A pretty one too.
A pretty one, yeah.
Very
It's
pretty car.
the car actually that took the World Endurance Championship
Last year.
the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah.
With Florence Vantor, Andre Lotterer, and
Esther.
Kevin Estre.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, but it should be revealed in at Le Mans. They're talking that it might be a road going version, which would be
Okay.
really
Like
really
the
cool.
499 Modificata.
But the 499 Modificata is not
It's
a
not-
road
it's
legal
a
car.
track car.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
track only car.
Yeah.
No, they are literally talking like the 917 that was road homologated.
Ooh,
That's the rumor going around.
that's really cool.
We'll just have to see if that's going to be like if they're going to make one or if they're going to make 100.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Porsche just put out
But
the
that's
teaser
it.
pic and
Just one teaser picture, you can't see anything. It's like
No.
a roof line and
Yeah.
It
But-
it looks to have it does have a badass rear wing, just like the.
it still has the big wing,
Hypercar.
yeah.
So
Which, to be honest, I think it would look very weird without.
yeah, exactly. But just the fact that it would be then road legal is
And I'm interested to
incredible.
see if they will keep the existing powertrain because it's the 4.6 liter twin turbo V8.
Yeah.
And I believe the 4.6 was originally sourced from the 918, to which they then put two turbos on.
Yeah.
And then
exactly.
the hybrid component, it has around 700 horsepower, I
That's
think,
insane.
depending on the BOP of that weekend, but around 700 horsepower. Yeah, all to the rear wheels.
Mm-hmm. Not bad, right?
I think everyone, if you have the money and they're like, would you want a road going race car?
That's the stuff you want.
Yeah.
That's the stuff you want. We're not seeing that anymore because before it used to be a thing with
Yeah.
all the GT1 cars that needed a road.
When it was written in the rules that you had to have the road homologation.
Yeah, but now that's done. So now we're seeing
Yeah, we're seeing the opposite
Yeah.
as well with.
the other way around.
But we've seen a bit with the 499p Modificata.
Valkyrie. Bit.
The Valkyrie, well, yeah, the Valkyrie was the original, the first entry into the new hypercar class, but then, yeah, Aston Martin pulled out of the project, and the ACO was a bit pissed off because they tailored the regulations to the Valkyrie.
Okay.
But yeah, the Valkyrie is now here, so it did a
Yeah.
little bit the other way around. But what are they called again? The other Italian small niche brand who did the LMH, the Tipo 6. Isotta Fraschini, yes. Yeah, so they did their Le Mans hypercar, and they have the Pista version as well.
Exactly.
It's
Yes.
they have the Pista and
And
the
the road
road
legal.
going version. Yeah, so it's a really cool car. But yeah, you'll have to wait and see until Le Mans, I believe.
When is Le Mans? Like the third week of June?
Second of
Second?
yeah.
Okay, that's still okay. Huh?
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
That'll be good.
Who do you want to win?
Oof. I'm sorry, but I'm a Astra fan, so I'd say Porsche number 6.
Yeah, for me, I think for yeah, well, and the thing is, if you have 3 Le Mans victories in a row, you get to keep the trophy. And yeah, so that's why I think it would be cool if Ferrari won it a third time, because then they can have the trophy,
That's cool. Okay.
and then next year Porsche can win. But yeah, going to the next thing, from talking about road going race cars, we're talking about race going road cars. That took a while, but we have the M2 Racing that was unveiled this week.
without an M engine.
Thanks for spoiling the surprise, but yes. So it looks like an M2, but it isn't. Or it is an M2, but it doesn't have the engine. It has a 4-cylinder B48 engine.
Which comes from the
Just any. Just basically the BMW the B platform is very simple. Is that you have the B58, which is the 6-cylinder. You have the B48, which is the 4-cylinder, and it's just the 6-cylinder with 2 less cylinders. This is me going rambling on about. Then you have the B38, which is the 3-cylinder. It's very simple. It's just like it's the same engine platform, just with other cylinders. And yeah, from the B58, and there's the S58, which is the M engine, and so this isn't even like an S48
engine. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it's the engine that you can find in a 135, 235, in a Mini.
Okay, so it still has like 300-ish horsepower.
320 horsepower, 420 Newton meters. The main thing that they were trying to push, or the reasoning behind it, is affordability. So the M2 racing,
cost then?
Yeah, it'll be below 100,000 euros.
Okay.
Which is still a lot, I think, but yeah.
Yeah, but I remember the M2 CS was very expensive. It was like 150.
Yeah, but the M2 CS, the normal M2 CS, was also very expensive.
It was also it was also near 100k, and the weight.
I didn't find the quoted weight, but they use a lot of GT4 parts from the M2.
So it's still gonna be 1,500.
Yeah, at least. But it's essentially it's track ready. So you just buy it, you arrive, and you can drive it.
Okay.
And just like with the old one, they're going to set up a series, a one make series as well.
That's fun. Exactly. That's fun. It's a shame that or maybe there might come another, because at first with the previous gen was also the 235 racing, then with the 240i racing, and then he went up to the 260.
That's the only thing I was going to comment on. I think they just should have used a 240 with 4-cylinder, and then call it M235 racing.
Also fine. Yeah, exactly. Also fine.
But just like you could see everyone on social media like 4-cylinder. What?
Let's launch an M motorsport car and let's not put an M engine in it.
I think it's cool that BMW offers this.
Because everybody can buy these things.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. If you just are, if you want to do racing, you can buy it. If you just want to,
if you're a gentleman driver that wants to start somewhere, I think
exactly, this is a really good choice. But it's still expensive because there are more affordable options available.
Yeah, but even with the 4-cylinder, the 4-cylinder is going to be less expensive to maintain than like an M engine.
Definitely.
So that does work with the car. But yeah,
I agree. And it looks cool.
It looks very cool.
Looks cool. Looks like an M2.
Yeah, but without optional headlights, because it has to cost less.
Yeah, if you break them, it's expensive.
Okay, next, and this was my highlight of the week.
Highlight of the week.
Yeah.
Alright, why?
Just the pictures.
Yeah.
It's the W1 winter testing.
That's really cool because it's something we don't see very often anymore, like these official concept pictures released from a manufacturer.
It's funny you say that, because in this same exact week, Range Rover has released pictures of their new Range Rover electric driving.
Really? I completely missed that. Alright. But it in general, it's something that we don't see very often anymore, like these official snowy testing condition kinds of pictures, and the pictures are just super cool.
They're super cool. I mean, yeah.
And the car looks really good.
If you see this, you know the car is going to be good.
Yeah, the car is going to be very sexy, and still trouble selling it.
Apparently so. Yeah.
Not easy to.
But I don't get why. Is it maybe it's too expensive, or what? Because for the F80, everyone was like, "Oh, it's a 6-cylinder," but yeah, this is still a V8, so I don't get.
It's not as pretty as a P1.
Yeah, okay, but
it's too functional, and the P1 was just super pretty.
Yeah, I get what you say, but
same for Speedtail. It's just.
I think they had a lot of issues with the Speedtail.
Speedtail was horrible.
That mostly. So they sold very well, but then. I've never seen one in real life driving.
True.
I've only seen them on the motor shows.
Yeah, true. And this isn't as pretty, and that's why it's people are not immediately hooked on the car.
So it's back to the drawing board. no, it's too far now.
But look at the P1. When it came out, it was 2013.
Yeah,
If you look-
something like that. Yeah,
yeah. If you look at it today, it's like
it still looks new,
exactly
out of this world.
not outdated
Mhm.
one bit, and that's more design. Within 20 years, you're not sure. Whereas the P1, you knew it was gonna look good always.
Yeah, but I think it's difficult to.
It's a guess. You never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you have to make a guess and see if it works out. With the P1, it worked out. With the LaFerrari, it also worked out.
Yeah,
918, same.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a gamble.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So-
yeah, it's true. But this is a car really looking forward to see on the road and how what the road presence will be of it.
And I think just because of the fact it's 1270 horsepower to the
Mm.
rear wheels.
That's
My God.
really cool. Yeah.
So yeah, I think in that sense it builds further onto the wild nature of the P1.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
as wild to drive as the P1 was,
McLaren knowing probably.
yeah, then I think that this is a really cool car, because with the F80
Mm.
it's going to be a very, very fast car, and yeah, it might even be faster on some
But
tracks.
it might lack the emotion of.
Yeah, but it'll be 4-wheel drive, and that's also why the 918 was the safest option,
Exactly.
is because it was 4-wheel drive, and yeah, it wasn't as wild on the rear wheels.
It was also a roadster type of car, so different.
Yeah.
But yeah, F80 also struggling to sell, I hear. So
Yeah, but I think Ferrari has it more easy
yeah,
to sell them than McLaren does.
audience is bigger. So
Yeah.
easy. Well, easy. Easy is a big word, but
No, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this car, and just seeing it like this.
when will it be like finally or first deliveries? I have no idea.
Not this year,
Not this
and
year.
I think only end of next year as soon.
Okay, so you got.
It's the same for the F80. They launched them really early, and the
It's
timeline.
only end of next year, the F80.
I think it's the same. Yeah.
Phew, that's quite while we have seen the car like already.
Yeah,
On
yeah,
track
and
and
yeah,
on
and
the
it
events.
was on track in Imola at
Exactly.
yeah, so
Silly.
I don't know. I think just maybe with the hybrid elements, the complexity, it
Mm.
just makes it so much more difficult to get something well performing, reliable, and everything.
Probably. Yeah, maybe. Alright, right. Next topic is a cool one. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay, so again, sorry for the ones listening to Spotify, but if you're listening through Spotify, you just open your phone right now. If you're driving, please pull over. Go to Google and then search 2025 Defender soft top and look at the first picture you're seeing, and you're seeing this.
It's awesome. It's
So-
awesome.
So essentially, this is a continuation of what we've already seen from the classic department within Land Rover.
Mm-hmm.
Is where they take the old Land Rovers, the 110, the 130, the 90 and the 110, sorry, and they strip it all and apply everything brand new.
But it's crazy because we've seen one in real life, a 110.
It's brand spanking
Yeah.
new. You can see it's old, but it's fresh out of factory. It smells fresh. Everything you
It's
touch is
Leather. It's
and
insane.
everything is leather. It's insane.
Yeah, you get in, you're like, oh my god, I gotta put my shoes out because I'm gonna make the car dirty.
Yeah.
It feels expensive. I'm not sure if you're ready for this, but they're starting at like £195,000.
Pounds, and that doesn't include VAT,
Yeah.
and that also doesn't include import tax, because you can only buy them in the UK, and then you have to import them. So you also have to import them, and I'm not sure how they're going to do it with homologation processes as well.
Good question.
Because from what I understand, it's just like the car goes to the classic department. They'll strip everything down. They'll put everything you want. You can do whatever. It also just has the 5-liter V8 non-supercharged.
Nice.
It's very cool.
So it
It's very
sounds
funny if you see the interior
badass.
because there's all these very old buttons. And then there's this. I think the gear stick is like 3 years old, but it's a 2020 gear stick from just a Land Rover, so it looks a little bit out of place.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
honestly.
it's a ZF gearbox, no?
yes, I
Okay.
have gearbox.
That's nice.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and just to have that V8. I mean, it's not with the supercharger, but who cares in a Defender?
Yeah.
I always thought that in the 90 with the V8, the supercharged V8, it's a little bit too much. So this is perfect.
Yeah,
It's a great looking car, and especially if you have the top just like that.
for the your 11th car on your beach home.
Yeah, yeah.
This must be
If you're buying this is something that does not make sense because
zero.
it's too much money for what it's offering, but it's just if you're buying this,
It's because you
none of your friends are going to have that, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh my god, that is the coolest thing I've seen on the beach today," and for the rest of the year.
depending on what beach you go to, but
Yeah, but to be honest, like even if you arrive with a Revolto, I think this is cooler.
I wasn't talking about cars though, but fine.
Okay. Staying on the Defender topic, this is more like a public service announcement from me, from what I've seen, and I've done some research also with it.
Okay, go for it.
It's Defender daytime running lights. If you haven't paid attention to it on the road, I've seen a lot of Defenders with their driver's side, so Europe driver's side, left side one,
Okay.
the daytime running light out.
And why is that?
I guess it's like a defect in there somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, because
Just
the other
like-
one is still running.
So
So
it's like just broken.
yeah, and it's something you won't see very often because it's a headlight. You don't
Exactly,
look
yeah.
at the headlights too much. But I've looked around on the internet, and a lot of people have been like, yeah, this has happened to me as well. So if you have a Defender, a new one, check your daytime running lights
Oh.
because you could be one of the guys I'm seeing, and at least I see like 2 a week at least
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep an eye on it too.
when I'm on the road.
Super
and
weird.
Since it's a bigger, or it looks like it's a bigger scale problem, I think if you go into the Land Rover dealership, they'll just fix it for free, probably.
Yeah. Please
Or
do,
you're
please do it under warranty.
or
because-
you can complain and say like, oh, I've seen people on the internet commenting about this as well. It's a common issue, so change it. Say
Yeah, you want
Fix
to
it.
change under warranty.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
Yeah.
Headlight unit is expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive these days.
Okay, weird.
But yeah, this is just my friendly public service announcement of the week. Hope I could help you. Our next topic and this is we're through with the news. We have some more things we want to talk about. This is one that really grinds my gears, and I don't know why. Just to maybe go back and talk about what I'm talking about. So when you have an EV and you go to a public charging space, a lot of the spaces these days,
Or a plug-in hybrid.
just
something to put
a
in.
hybrid electric vehicle.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. But if you're plugging it in a lot of spaces, it'll not only cost you per kilowatt hour you're consuming,
Mhm.
it'll also cost you the time you're sitting there.
When it's charging or when it's charged?
Sometimes both.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I've only heard when it's done charging.
I don't know. I've seen chargers that from the start you're on there, you gotta pay.
No way.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and
But everywhere, like on a supercharger, on a parking space.
it depends, and that's the other thing that really annoys me is
You just
it's
don't
like
know, probably.
it's like a lawless land. These charging companies. I mean, if I want to place public charging spots and charge 50 euros per kilowatt hour next week, I can do it, and no one's going to stop me. And
Exactly.
that's just basically ripping people off because you don't have to advertise the costs.
That's yeah.
You can find it online, But honestly, who is looking online at
No
the
one.
prices of their charger, especially older people?
Yeah, you just plug it in and
Yeah.
done. You want the car to charge.
Uh,
That's where it stops.
Yeah, so maybe this is a new get rich quick scheme. Just
But-
charge €1,000
honestly,
for a kilowatt.
Okay, I don't drive an electric car, so I don't know. But we've had it once when we drove to Germany
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, with the
With the 330e, like just a regular BMW
Mhm.
hybrid station wagon. We stayed in a hotel
Yep.
during the night.
Plugged it in for the night.
Like a good hybrid driver, we plugged it in.
Yeah.
Because
And,
because
oh,
it was completely emptied, and it's only what is it, 50 kilometers with a BMW.
Yeah,
330,
something
so
like
it's-
that, yeah.
It's really not much, but you know, while it's sitting in the garage in the hotel, you're like, why the hell not?
yeah, and it's like
And the
we
garage-
we were the only
We're
car plugged
the
in
only
there.
Car charging. Yeah, and I got a €50 fine.
No, I think it wasn't per se a fine,
Yeah,
but
it
it was like the total cost
The total
was
cost was
€50 for
and,
charging it.
Yeah, and we charged for €8.
Yeah.
And the rest is just staying there. So I asked what we should have done, and the people just told me, yeah, well, you just unplug it when it's
Yeah,
finished
but
charging. I was like, yeah,
so-
sorry, but it's like 1:30 in the morning. I'm not going to put like
Yeah, one, it's 1:30 in the morning. Second, it's a hotel. But even
Mhm.
just, and I for the life of me, I cannot understand why EV people defend this, because they're like, oh, okay, yeah, but you're selfish if you hog up the space.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It's an infrastructure problem that you're pushing onto the consumer. Like, okay, we don't have enough charging spots, so we're going to charge you.
Yeah, sorry for you.
Yeah,
Here you go.
bad for
bam.
you. Because it's like, okay, let's say you're going to the big city, you're having a shopping day, you plug it in halfway on the other side of the city, and then like 4 hours later, yeah, my car's charged. Yeah, I have to walk all the way.
Just to
Sorry,
plug
it-
it. Yeah, it doesn't.
It's
sense.
yeah. All of this is supposed to be more convenient, and it isn't. And it's just like, yeah, I hate it. It just it's a
And for some people, there's just no solution, because I've heard a few stories about people like having like really big fines.
yeah.
Last time was somebody who just went to the airport, parked his car, charged it, put it in the charger,
Mm-hmm.
went on holiday. 1 week later, €1,900.
Jesus.
Yeah, put a lawyer on it, patati patata. At the end, he won. But imagine the
But not that everyone would put a lawyer
not
on it.
everybody will do this. Like,
Yeah.
imagine you're like the guy who doesn't want to have any troubles, and you're just like, oh my god, yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna pay it, and then
Yeah,
it's over, and
yeah.
I won't do it again. But imagine like the amount of money that these companies are just
Yeah.
ripping out of your pockets, because indeed this information is just on a website somewhere well hidden, and that's it. It's
Yeah,
not on the
I think the
charging station
biggest
available.
issue is because petrol prices everywhere are like highlighted,
Exactly, you know what you're paying.
and there's a maximum price set.
Yeah, it's regulated.
Yeah, it's regulated, and yeah, as I said, I've also just seen people who install public chargers, and they'll charge €2 for a kilowatt.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not-
not kidding.
because
So
nobody is just checking, or it's not regulated at all. So you just can
Yeah.
ask whatever you want. And
yeah, you can ask whatever you want, and then
and that's
yeah.
something people will not check, because you have
Especially when you're on holiday.
Yeah, but in general, you also have an average price in your head. Like, I had the kilowatt is gonna cost me like on a supercharger is gonna cost me like, I don't know,
Yeah, about
between 70 or 90 cents.
yeah.
And then on a smaller charger, it's gonna maybe between 30 or 40,
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
But indeed, if you think, small charger, it's not gonna cost me that much, and it's a private
Yep.
charging station, bam, written
Mm.
off.
Yeah, it's crazy.
insane.
No, but yeah, I do understand the standpoint of if you're sitting at a charger and your car is full, then it's
but-
frustrating for the other people. But that yeah, it's the same like if you're just with your regular car and you want to park and there's no parking space. That's also frustrating for for other
The other
people. That
guy.
doesn't mean that someone else has to remove their car for you to be able to park.
Doesn't make any sense. And then, just like you're saying, then you remove all the convenience from the electric car again.
Yeah.
Because the idea is that you can just plug it in. It's gonna charge while you do your visit.
Yeah, so
or your
you
shopping.
never have to stop anywhere
Exactly.
if you're just going around.
That's in
Because
my
yeah,
opinion, the
that's
whole
also what
idea.
EV people are really proud of. Oh, I never have to stop at a gas station again.
Yeah, because you can charge it while you're shopping
Yeah.
or while you visit a theme park or whatever. But
Yeah.
if that visit costs you an extra 100 euros,
It doesn't make any sense.
Where's the convenience there?
Yeah.
Unless
I
you're-
think there should just be more chargers, but that's yeah.
Hmm.
It's something that BMW has highlighted once when I test drove the hydrogen iX5,
Okay.
and it's that with hydrogen, if you expand the infrastructure, it's a linear thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're expanding electric infrastructure, it's an exponential cost. Because the more cars there are, the more chargers there have to be. And
Makes sense.
and you need a lot more chargers to put in if you're having more cars. Then it's similar with petrol cars. If from one day to the next you have 2 times the amount of cars, you don't have to put 2 times the amount of fuel stations.
No, exactly.
So yeah, that's the issue. But
Exactly.
I think it's just unfair, and it's just ripping people money out of people's pockets. And you can say, yeah, you should check the prices, but
Yeah, it's easy.
if it's not highlighted, and I think the younger generation, they will check it a lot more. But I know also a lot of older people that like the electric car just from the convenience point, and they're already struggling with using a charging card. Imagine them trying to figure out where they need to find
doesn't
the
make any
prices.
sense. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, so that was a good rant, I think.
That was a good rant.
Good rant.
But not to the electric car.
No, not to the electric car.
To all these companies like doing whatever they want, not being regulated and just ripping off people.
For once, this is like a topic where Europe is so over-regulating, and then they're like, EV charging prices,
do whatever.
Do whatever. If you could do one thing right, Europe, this would be it. Just ditch a lot of the other stuff and then do this. But okay. Final topic.
Yeah, when I it's I think it's not a certain thing, but I think that it's like the end of the flipping car era.
It could be, yeah.
Because like we used to see when I don't know the latest Aventador SV came out, or latest Ferrari Aperta, I don't know which model, like a few years ago, you bought it, you've put it on sale, 100 to 200,000 euros on top, and it would sell within a week, you know.
Yeah, quick cash grab.
Yeah, like instant. Same with the Porsche, you know. 99 1.2s, stuff like that, you know, there weren't many, so bam, you could flip the car really quickly and make tons of money.
Yeah, it's true.
And now, first of all, brands are more prepared to this because they let you sign stuff and you get blacklisted real quickly, and there's many more possibilities to just.
Porsche is really working on. Has been really. I know Porsche actively has been like scouting, and yeah,
But they're
it's
right.
just dealers. They're like, ooh, that's one of our cars that we sold there, and then they're like
checking the chassis number,
and they just send it to Porsche, and it's
done.
Yeah, and you're
exactly.
not.
Which is really good because these people just take away cars from people who actually want to buy them
and actually want to drive them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
instead of just making tons of money on it. So that's a good thing. And then we've seen that they're making just more cars than there's people who want them, or initially want them. Because you have, for example, the GT3 RS is a perfect example. You know, they've launched it and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be super difficult to get one. And at first, it was super difficult to get one. You know,
True. Yeah.
couldn't get your hands on one, super limited. And now you see parking lots. I'm not gonna say full, but
You see a lot of them.
you see a lot of GT3 RSs, and of course, it's an incredible car. It's really good. It's stunning. But in Germany, you already see them on sale under the new price.
Yeah, but I do think that it's too early to tell.
Okay.
Especially because we're just running into a next generation of cars.
Also true.
So yeah, like you brought up the example of the Purosangue, and there's a lot of Purosangues going over list.
Yeah,
It's difficult because this is a very niche product. I think we have to wait until we have like more of the special editions from the next generations of cars.
But I do
The
think
thing-
special
the-
editions will have their place, like a Spirit 70s or whatever, because they're all numbered. That's the thing. A numbered car will always be able to somehow better keep its value.
A GT3 RS is not.
But the GT3 RS, I'm pretty sure within 10 years, and I2,
And-
you'll be able to pick it up really cheap.
There's two things with the GT3 RS that make it for me that it's not really telling that it's the end of the investment cars, even though it should. One is Porsche never said that they're going to make X amount of cars.
True.
And second is Porsche has been released, or it's not only Porsche, every manufacturer has been struggling to sell EVs, and they've been racking up quite a lot of negative income on the EVs. So Porsche just essentially looked at the market and they're like, a lot of people don't have a GT3 RS yet. We still have a lot of GT3 RSs that we could make for a big premium because it's a good selling product.
Of course.
And this could offset our EV sales.
Definitely. Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. So
but also
because to be honest, it is a bit. It's not really.
It's a bit of both things, but.
Yeah, but it's not really screwing over the customer because they never.
No, because the customer is happy because he's the guy who wants his GT3 RS.
Yes, but
is happy.
The current customer is happy. The first ones
that
thought, oh, this is going to be a limited product and everyone is going to want one, and only few are going to have one. Too bad for you.
Yeah,
it's not. That's not how.
People who are now getting them, because I was able to source a car brand new for a friend of mine who he really wanted one, and he was already a 992 GT3 customer.
Yeah.
And his dealership said, "Sorry, bro, can't get you one." And I was like, "But come on, man, I'm a GT3 customer. He was on track. I'm like a good Porsche ambassador. I'm using the car. I don't want to flip it. No, sorry." And so I really felt bad for him. I was like, whenever I hear something that there's a GT3 RS available, I'm calling him. And he managed to get his car. And I was like, and the guy is already using it on track like every single month. He's like,
it's a little bit different. Yeah, I think if you go from one dealership to the next, they're going to say, "Oh, okay, you can have one," because maybe not every dealer gets the allocation or gets the update that we're
maybe.
We have a lot of them for not for free. They're still very expensive.
It's still 350
I've just known from basically nearly new customers that can walk into the dealership and buy one now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's telling because if you go look into a Porsche Centrum now, there's like 2 or 3 ready for delivery.
Yeah, there's always a few ready for delivery, which is good because it's a very good car, and the people who will get them now will use it.
For me as well, I have a local PPF installer, and it's like
it's
weekly a new one coming in. It's like you're like, where do these keep coming from? But to be honest, good on Porsche.
Good on Porsche, because they did what the guys wanted. Yeah,
the demand is there, so they're selling it, and and I think, and this is why I like Porsche really, it's what they did with the Touring as well. They just put up their middle finger to collectors, and they're like, "Oh, you guys want to make a profit out of our cars? Well, screw you."
Yeah, well, with the 911R and the GT Touring, exactly same thing. That was a brilliant move.
So I think it's
but it really depends. But now you see that cars from our area when we were young, like something between 2005 2010. These are the cars now that everybody wants.
I think the interest is changing from newer cars to cars from 2010.
And you can see that price, like for a 360 Challenge Stradale, 355 is going up really quickly. Same with 430 Scuderia, Gallardos being hard to find, and you can see if you find one in a decent configuration, prices are already like really high up.
They're really high.
Yeah. So that's good. So there's a change, like in which one do I want? Do I want to? No, the thing is, the guy who wants to invest in cars, he's going to make a switch.
Yeah, he's going to go to older cars.
Yeah, and the guy who wants to drive the brand new GT3 RS, whatever, he's going to be able to get one.
Yeah.
That might be a cool
But I think if you really want to drive the car, even though you're then going back into the investment area, buy the older car.
Definitely, because the driving experience
it's
is
less
much more-
electronics, it's less.
But there will always be people who want the latest thing. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. But if you're more into the tech than the physical driving part, makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah, because I drove that 997.2 GT3 and it was still one of the craziest experiences ever because it was just so.
Thank you for reminding me.
If you didn't watch the review, you should because
You should
it's
watch
really
the
fun.
review. I'm still like really
You
jealous.
You still need to drive that car.
Motor, please.
If you're watching this, call him. He's crying, or he's crying every night.
And my girlfriend is like, "What's wrong, babe?"
Leave
I
me
still
alone.
haven't had the chance to drive a 997.2 GT3.
It's really incredible. So that's good that we see a switch and the thing is weird because that's something that I don't understand nowadays. We don't talk that much about like production numbers or whatever, and you don't.
No.
We have no idea how many brand new GT3 RSs are on the road or a Puro sign. We have no idea. Whereas before, you quite knew it, or there were more really limited cars. Like
I think it's also yes
because for example the GT3 of our friend, they're only 2,500 in the world.
and
It's like almost as rare as a 911 ST, which costs like $500,000.
and the thing is, I think before it wasn't really that much about just the numbers, so they really knew how much there were, and because Porsche made 2,500 because that's what
They were able
the
to
market
make.
wanted at that point.
Also true. Yeah.
So it wasn't a limited run. It's like just we started the order books here, and then at the end we finished the order
And
books
we made
there,
that much,
and we made this much cars.
Yeah.
Whereas now I think a lot of people are demanding it, and if they're going to say, okay, from the new GT3 RS we made 10,000, I'm not saying they made 10,000,
But there are gonna be a lot of them.
but there's for sure going to be more than 2,500.
Definitely.
So I think it's also that they don't want to talk about it that much openly because
Because it's not gonna be a sexy number.
yeah,
It's definitely not gonna be a sexy number. If you look at how much, for example, Urus are being made or Huracans,
but I think it's a difference from Urus because it's a volume product.
yeah, it's a Huracan.
Like
Made a lot
yeah.
of Huracans, for example.
yeah, but even the Huracan, like it's the same. Porsche is proud to say, "Oh, we've made this many 911."
True.
But yeah, and it's the same with Ferrari. Ferrari is not going to say, "Okay, we made this many."
No, they're not telling.
Essay Apertas.
No.
Definitely more than 80. If you know, you know.
Yeah, indeed.
No, but yeah, I think it's a bit too soon to call off the new cars being investment cars, but
it's something I want to keep an eye on it because I'm curious.
Yeah, and as you said, it's just become increasingly more difficult, and it's more of a one-trick pony. You can do it once, but try and do
Will
it
people
twice
fall for
in the
it?
same brand, and you're going to get the door shoved on your face.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly. So that was my little rant on more modern cars.
No, I think it was good, and we went a bit sideways as well, but
Which is
always
fine.
love going sideways,
It's fine. It's fine.
whether it's in the podcast or on the road.
Ooh, definitely on the road. Should do that a little bit more often again.
Okay, so I think this is all we have time for this week.
Probably, yeah. But we will see each other soon.
Was quite fun. We should talk a little bit more about what we did with cars next episode because that I want to talk about. But yeah, we have to run now.
Good idea. All right, guys.
Thank you guys for listening and or watching, but for sure thank you for enduring us.
That's fine. It's gonna be fine. It's fine.
Yeah, we love hearing your commentary on what we need to do, or just what your opinion is about cars. We love chatting about cars.
Or if you have some funky topics we could discuss. definitely share.
we'll put them up here, and yeah,
That'll be fun.
then we can have more of a dialogue. All right,
Cheers, guys.
have a good week. Bye.